Ladies and gentlemen, they're 130 days away from Super Bowl 47 right here in New Orleans, so we have some very important announcements to make at today's luncheon. I was reflecting a little bit, and I really would like to see a show of hands. I don't think it's going to be too many. How many people here have witnessed, in person, seen, or covered all 9 Super Bowls that we've had here in New Orleans? We have no one. Quinn's here. Quinn. You went to all of them. I thought maybe Pete Finney was here. I knew Pete had. I think Pete covered Babe Ruth, so I'm not sure. Anyway, just a refresher. We don't take your time now because we got some important messages to make, but I'm going to give you a little refresher here because when we're serving lunch today, I thought maybe we'd, a lot of you have seen most of it. I thought we'd have a little fun and see what your most memorable, some of you, your most memorable New Orleans Super Bowl moment is. A quick refresher, our first Super Bowl here was Super Bowl IV in 1970, and they had a big upset a couple of years before the AFC. Joe Namath, they upset the NFC, but this was also a huge upset. Also the first time a head coach was mic'd. Remember Hank Stram and the Kansas City Chiefs? They upset the Minnesota Vikings that day at Old Tulane Stadium in 1970. That's the only game that I didn't see. I was still in college at that time. As a matter of fact, I had played here 2 weeks before in the Sugar Bowl. And then the Chiefs came in and won that game. Our next one was Super Bowl VI in 1972. The Cowboys won their first Super Bowl right here, knocking off the Miami Dolphins. That was the first time the Dolphins ever participated in a Super Bowl. Super Bowl IX was 1975. It was the last game played in Old Tulane Stadium. The Steelers beat the Minnesota Vikings. It's one of the coldest days I ever remember in New Orleans, Louisiana. Super Bowl XII in 1978. The Cowboys were back, and they beat the Denver Broncos that day. Super Bowl XV in 1981, Dick Vermeil brought his Philadelphia Eagles to town, but the Raiders were too much for him. MVP Jim Plunkett that day, the Oakland Raiders win that game. Super Bowl XX in 1986, I think a lot of us remember that one. Mike Ditka and the Chicago Bears won their Super Bowl here. Walter Payton, the Fridge, a lot of memories of that game. They handily beat the New England Patriots in that game. Super Bowl XXIV in 1990, also someone handily beat someone. San Francisco and Jerry Rice killed the Denver Broncos that day in a high-scoring game. Super Bowl XXXI, 1997, Brett Favre won his first and only Super Bowl as Green Bay defeated the New England Patriots that day. And then the last Super Bowl we hosted here, and it's been too long, but that was in 2002, and that was Super Bowl XXXVI. And a young quarterback, the New England Patriots named Tom Brady, took over that year and led an upset over the St. Louis Rams, who had won their Super Bowl and were favored to win that one. February 3rd, 2013, that'll be Super Bowl 47. We certainly all look forward and anticipate that. So be thinking about your favorite memory. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Mark and Jerry Roaming, chairs of the host committee, media, PR committee. Jerry's not with us today, but we all know Jerry's been the stadium announcer, Saints games for 40 years, never missed a home game. Jerry's announced 4 Super Bowls in New Orleans, all our Sugar Bowl games, all our BCS games. Jerry's not here, but of course we all look forward to his call each and every Sunday for a Saints home game. Mark Roman currently serving as President CEO of New Orleans Tourism Marketing Corporation. He leads the city's official leisure travel promotion agency responsible for enhancing the tourism industry through effective marketing and promotional programs. Our MC for today's event, Mark Roman.